All right, welcome to the Studying Brew, episode 973. I think that's right.
Yes.
Test taking techniques Tuesday. It's going to be a good one, and we're going to have a lot of fun because we're going to go over those techniques. We're going to go over those tips, tricks, and all them skill sets that will help you get a pass notice. Who are we? My name is Andy. I'm the guy that runs the back office over here. But you're not here for me. You're here for Brandy. She's got her Series 6, 63, 26, Series 65, and her Series 7, which makes her more than qualified to teach you all the things you need to know. So that way you too can get a pass notice. And tonight is going to be fun. Brandy had a strong message on her daily message. If you don't have that, check out our Instagram. It is over there. It's also on our Patreon. If you guys are a member, you guys get all those updates for all the different class, all what we have going on, right? The schedule, the access to all the sessions and everything. But she had a good message. But there's one thing I want to talk about, and that's belief, right? You got to believe in yourself. So I want you guys to take out a piece of paper. I want you to write this down. I want you to take a note. Are you ready? Are they ready? I think so. I want you to put on there, I will pass. And the next thing I want you to put is, or I will pass. And then I want you to put, one day, no matter what, I will pass. There is no option. There is no other option. That's it. Period on that. Explanation point. That's all the options that you have. And you have to look at it, you read it, you believe it. Your only options are, I will pass, or I will pass. Too many times we get into our own head. You ever heard that expression? Like you're too much into your own head. One of the worst things I think they teach in school or at home or anything, and sometimes I try to like not be guilty of this. I'm just conscious of it when I parent or when I'm talking to people or I even talking to myself, is I take away that, well, you got to have that just in case, that backup plan. You might not pass. You might not do X, whatever the variable is. You might not ever make it. You might not blah, blah, blah. So you better have a backup plan. You ever notice that most people give up on their first tries at something and they go immediately to the backup plan, which is really what ends up being the plan? Do you know why that is? Because that's the comfort, that's the safe route. That's where they're comfortable at. That's why it's the backup plan. And then do you know what's crazy is that most people go do that backup plan and it takes them just as long to get that plan in working if they would have just stuck with plan A, and they would have been much more happier. Plan B usually is not the plan that you really wanted. That's why it's plan B, right? That's why it's the just in case or whatever you label it. I read something today, or I heard something today. I forgot which one it is. There was this thing, and they say that when you're doing something different that's out of your comfort zone that you have never tried, and it's way out there for you, and you're trying to break into something or break through, give yourself 7 years. Apparently 7 years is the ticket. I don't know why, but I look at us. It took us a good 7 years before we found anybody more than just, a handful that actually like was getting what we're saying. We're actually wanting and listening to what we were doing, to where we had a handful of people that were like, okay, we're going to go all in on you and then do this. It took a while, but 7 years is not a lot of time. I know it sounds like a lot if you're young and you're like in your 18, in the 18 to 25 range. It seems like forever. That's forever. But when you get past 40, I feel like 7 years is like, dude, I could do 7 years standing on my head. You know what I mean? Like that ain't nothing, because you realize time really is just a mental thing. And what I mean by that is when you're a little kid, it always seemed like forever and a day before it was Christmas again, right? For me, it was Christmas. I don't know. Some people don't celebrate Christmas. I get it. Whatever it is that you make, that what is your happy spot place, whatever that thing is, and you notice that like it would take a whole like it was forever ago, like summer even, right? Like you wanted to go swim and do stuff and play, hang out with your friends. School's out. It was like, dude, the school year is forever. Christmas is forever, like that feeling, right? It could not come quick enough. Time was just forever. And then as you get older, I mean, I swear I blinked my eye. It was like it's already what, September now? It was like I feel like it was just January, right? Guys, don't have this crushing timeline on yourself and pressure. Put in the work every day. Put in the work every day, little bit by little. The problem is most people, they freak out and give themselves anxiety about timelines. They give themselves anxiety about doubts, and it stacks on top of everything to the point where, it's paralyzing. I know there's a couple people on here that I had conversations with them, and I'm glad they're back into the studying group, but they talked about how like they were so fearful of 6 months being forever. Dude, I'm so worried about failing. How many times did you attempt the exam? Oh, just once, and I didn't pass. But now it's like, oh, I realized that it's almost been a year since my last attempt because I was worried about waiting the 6 months. But you only took it once. That's only a 30-day wait. Yeah, but I'm just like so worried about that 6 months. So you waited a year to avoid 6 months. Huh?
Yeah.
What? What? Guys, so much unnecessary worry, so much unnecessary, so much though that it delays. It delays the process. It delays everything. If you just stay consistent with it and you work hard, look, I'm not guaranteeing nothing. I'm not guaranteeing a dang thing. I don't believe in guarantees. I think everything's earned. It's just the way it is. Sometimes, as Brandy's dad used to say, rest in peace, Al. He used to say, sometimes you're the candy and sometimes you're the wrapper. You get the wrapper. Sometimes you get the candy, sometimes you get the wrapper. That's just the way it is, right? Sometimes you get the candy, sometimes you get the wrapper. I've also heard it as sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield. But it's just you just get what you get. But you can't sit there and freak out and worry about it and paralyze yourself. You got to go, you know what? Pass or fail. I'm just going to believe in it. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to be consistent with it. I'm going to stop putting excess pressure on me because I'm not getting it or whatever it is that's holding you up. You just go for it, guys. Just go for it. And you know what's crazy? And this is the God's honest truth. This is the crazy part. I know Arlene just put in there. It was like 2 years later for her. She was so worried about waiting forever, right? The 6 months, whatever. I know there's a couple other people on there. You know what's crazy? It just took 3 weeks of her being consistent and buying into the system, and she knocked it out. And the whole entire time she was waiting around, or the entire time that you've been waiting around, if you just lock in for 3 stinking weeks and actually do what you're supposed to in the process and the program and stick with it every day, you already be done. 3 weeks is nothing compared to like the waiting around for 2 years or a year or 6 months or 3 years or 4 months. So many times, so many people go, hey, I'm in that 6 month wait. What should I do? Don't stop. Don't stop. I'm in that 30-day wait. Well, you definitely shouldn't stop because you could be 3 weeks away from just getting a pass notice. Be honest with you, you got to wait that extra week. But so what? But so many people are like, well, I'm on that 6-month wait. I'll see you in 6 months. Wrong. That's that's the most ill-planned thing you could do. Because you know what happens? You have to start completely over from ground zero. And you've now not only just waited 6 months, but now you're going to wait an extra probably a month or two later. So it's going to be 7 to 8 months later. Almost all the time, people are almost a year out when they stop completely cold turkey on that 6-month wait. And that's just like what we see in our statistics over here. I didn't do any deep dive research on some website or anything like that. It's just what we notice. People who completely stop for 6 months, we don't see them for at least a year or two, because it takes them that much longer to get back into the momentum. Because not only are they fighting to get back into the studying part, but they have to get past their ego. And I'm sorry, but a lot of times you guys fail and it's all ego. You guys take it to heart because it's all ego. I should have passed. I should have this. I never had this struggle. Nothing's ever been this so hard for me. Da, 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 da. That's ego. That's all ego. Surprise, you got something that was difficult and challenging. Well, you're just going to have to humble yourself. Show some humility. Stick with it. Don't be crying about it. Just go for it. Nothing wrong with being humble. Nothing wrong with being having some humility in your life and in your studying. Guys, you can stick with it. You just get it. You just go for it. And more importantly, I was talking to Sean in Mississippi, and he was like, man, he goes, I don't know what it is with people. They don't listen to y'all. He goes, literally in my base shop, I just got 19 passers using your system. They blow through the SIE. We had 19 passers of the SIE. He's like, half of those got fully licensed, and 3 of them became RVPs in Primerica within the last 6 months. And they just stuck to your program. None of them did the content dumps. They listened to what I said. They just got through your information, did the techniques, did what you guys have in the drill downs, and then they just went for it. It was like literally a breeze. Why don't people listen to you? Why do they go through the content the way they do? Why do they feel like they have to understand everything? I go, it's a lack of faith, to be honest. Because someone in their office, they listen to other YouTubes, they listen to all this other stuff. He goes, I tell my people to stop listening everywhere. He's like, I spent $5,000 before I found you. He goes, I failed the exam 9 times before I found you. Because I went to everybody's weekend boot camp, crash course, cram, go to home office, blah blah, special person, whatever, guru. He goes, I did them all. He's all, you're all the only ones that taught me how to apply and you get through the quizzes and use the information and what I didn't need to know and what I need to know and what I need to hold on with the keywords. You're the only one. And then I decided to, hey, let me have my people get onto that. Boom. He's like, there we are, 19 people. It was like either 18 or 19. That's awesome. Guys, techniques, test taking techniques, keywords, all the stuff we teach you. Stop doing content dumps. Stick with something consistent. Learn a program. Fly through the dang things. Get done with it all. Literally, the turnaround could be easy as 90 days. How? You just join the program. Just get on the program. He was all, yeah, I had somebody that was like, yeah, we're going to do the Kaplan, but we're going to see if we can like modify Brandy's thing and all this stuff. He's like, you know what? He's all, why would you do that? He's all, why would you do that? It's going to take you so much longer to develop your own thing that is compatible. Why don't you just do the dang thing that's already there? Money is time. Time is money. Go for it. Be done with it. He's like, people have already tried it those other ways. That's why they exist. Get onto the program, guys. We got 21-day plan for the SIE. We got the Kona Academy. This is kind of like the last month of the year. But we're going to have something special for the SIE to finish out the year. It's going to be like we did, and we got thousands of people to pass. And we're going to finish out the year that way. I don't even honestly know if the County Academy is the way to go, but we'll talk about that. Well, I'll ask people on there, but I've been saying that. I know there's a lot of great feedback about it, but right now we still have the Academy. We still have the 21 days. Scan the QR code, hit the links. We got all that going on. Study guides, SIE 663, 26. We got you covered. Kona community. We had a great Discord apparently tonight. So make sure to get on that and study with other people. 951-290-3077. That's my phone number. Give me a text or a phone call and see about getting on to this program if you have any questions. We have the self-guided, we got the guided, all the good stuff. Telegram, Instagram, all there. Check it out. What's the schedule for tomorrow? All right, we got the Academy, we got the 63, we got the 26. All going on tomorrow. Check your emails. Access points are there. We also have something on Telegram. All that stuff is there. So get on. 9:30 a.m. is the party.
Yep.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Test taking techniques Tuesday. I know. I normally drag out the commercial there, but I'm not today. Am I like, you can't take the fan?
I can't.
Oh my gosh. This is married couple one-on-one right now. We have a fan that blows down
directly onto my face.
Unfortunately, I wish there was a fan that blew on me so it keeps me cool because I am like dripping with sweat, and she has a flannel on, and I'm like, dude, why'd you turn off the fan?
It's because it's blowing into my face and it's making it hard to breathe.
I will just sweat since Brandy can't breathe. It is dying. I'm dying in here, guys. I'm telling you. The house is like 83 degrees and there's no air. It is like stagnation in here.
It's not.
It is super stagnation and a little bit of stagflation. All right. Test taking techniques Tuesday. Dude, I know this is a conversation in every married couple's household, right?
I stand the fan blowing in my face while I'm trying to talk.
I'm like, dude, I'm sweating like chorizo over here. And she's like, I'm freezing.
It's not that. It's just as I'm trying to talk.
Hey guys, at the end of this, Brandy might have to finish it out. If I just hit the floor, it's because I was just dehydrated.
Oh, guys, it's not that bad.
Passed out. Bam.
The air just kicked off. It's not even. Like,
oh, it's funny. All right, here we go. I'm gonna hit the floor because of dehydration and
it's not. It's not. Oh my goodness, babe.
What do they call that?
It's
Heat exhaustion.
It's 61 degrees outside.
Outside in this house, it's 80. Oh my gosh. Anyways, all right, here we go. Test taking techniques Tuesday. This is the tips. These are the tricks. These are the techniques to help you get a pass notice. We are not going to be overthinking. We are not even going to probably use securities to answer these. Guys, we're going to observe some stuff. We're going to look for similars. We're going to look for the opposites, all the stuff that we teach. Brandy's going to do that. She's going to show you how to go around the quick ray around the track. Rule number 1 is we don't want you to ask what exam did that question come from. Look at how the process works. Look how she gets through these questions. Rule number 2, we got rule number 2. How do we get good at anything? We got to practice. As I like to say, we don't want to be an Allen Iverson. I don't know when I'm going to change that up, but it worked. I like the only person I know who publicly said I don't like,
right,
threw a big fit about practicing. No championships.
Right.
We all about practicing. That's how you get good at something. 10 question flash quiz right after we're done here. That means 10 questions, 10 minutes, 1 minute of thought, no overthinking, no overreading, going with the techniques, trying not to use securities, keeping it simple, sometimes not even looking at the question to get an answer. This is a drill. This is the way we drill to get these things into our arsenal. I know some people are like, well, I'm going to take the exam and I'm going to do what you just, no. This is a drill so we can get good at something. This is a drill. But I didn't say that for the real exam. Real exam, tune in to the evening espressos for members on Sundays. We go over what we need to do on the exam. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. Sounds like I'm being 1000% dramatic, but it is hot in here.
Yes.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm being a little bit of a drama king right now.
Okay.
It's hot.
It's not. Okay. Gross domestic product to decrease, inventories to decrease, consumer demand to increase, or production to rise. Right. So I'm like, okay. So we do have capitals, right? The GDP is capital. We also talk about product and production. If the GDP is going down, how can production go up? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
These are opposite. Opposite. Now I could get into inventories decreasing and demands increasing, right? I mean, if you want to know B and C or the same direction, right? Even though one says decrease, one says increase. But if consumers are demanding, inventories are decreasing, but whatever, we're not going to get into all that. But during periods of economic decline and contraction, I think my products are going to decrease.
Right? If you're in economic decline, probably a lot of things are not being made because not a lot of people are buying. It's just all common sense, isn't it?
I mean, I think so.
I got no money. I'm not going to the store to buy anything. People who make things to fill stores are not going to make anything because no one's buying it. It's all common sense.
Exactly.
Don't overthink it.
Exactly. Ooh, so much. So much.
So many words.
Right. So I got the right to vote, prefer shareholders, a corporation.
Can you do that thing where you go, this is all I looked at?
Actually, all I did was like this. I'm going to be real with you guys. That's
Because
probably
everybody's reading it right now and I don't want them to.
oops.
Do that thing you do.
That thing I do?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me get my eraser out there. Okay. This is literally what I did. I scanned it. Like I literally looked at it like this fast. Watch, ready. I went like this. I said you must. And then I said this. And then I said false. And then I said, I bet you that's the answer. And
that much faster. That's techniques. That's techniques. How many of you were like, the right to vote on a corporate issues is not available? Guys, that's not what we're doing tonight.
right.
That's not how you do it. That's not how you do it. Eric, stop. I'm going to take away your teaching privileges. Stop teaching people how to read.
Yeah, don't read.
This is not a reading comprehension test.
Yeah. Like sometimes what I do when I'm in the member session, I read it, but I don't read it. Like I just try to say the words for those people who are like listening in and not watching. But honestly, it's just more presenting the words than it is reading.
You don't have to defend it.
No,
I just like to show people to go around it.
No,
they want to learn they want to learn it. They can join up, learn on the exam mastery sessions on Mondays and Fridays. I'm not trying to teach people for free. Join in Mondays, right. Fridays.
Okay, so again, we're hitting one of those another set of answers.
Yeah.
Right. That have so much words but this is the only one that has numbers in it.
Yeah, because I was just scanning it and I'm all holding sock, like that. All of pretty much the first part of everything was all the same except for a below and above. And then I was like, okay, what else is there? Oh, number. That's it.
Because I had to, when I did this one, I'm like, okay, because guys, even I question, right? Is it really going to be this answer? And then I start reading it and then I get lost in the holding a stock and selling it above and below and all. I get so caught up in all that stuff. And then I go, Brandy, stop it.
It's like some of y'all, I wish we could put a shock collar, like they'd put on dogs, like when you start reading. Guys, the number's there. Just pick that one.
Yeah.
Click it and go.
Right. And then you can always back it up by reading it and going, oh, yeah, that is true.
All right. Yeah, let me check it. Yeah, that's a true statement.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah.
It's a timed exam, bro.
Yeah.
You guys are running out of time or you're feeling rushed all the time. It's because you're taking too much time to read.
Right. Right.
I mean, it is important, but.
Yeah. Now, so this is like, look at, so
again,
every answer choice has the word 10 million in it.
Yep.
Right. And then we could say, well, A and B say corporate stock or corporate bonds, but really let's look over here.
Underwriter,
market maker. It's the only one different. There's a whole thing about secondary except, but whatever. We're just going to go with the one that's different.
Yep. And if you're about to ready to say, well, that's because stop, mark B, move on. Mm-hmm. Guys, these questions aren't going to be on the real exam. So why the heck are you memorizing and learning how these work? It's not going to be asked that way at all on your exam.
By the way, I just want you guys to know these answers were actually 6 consecutive questions in my quiz.
In other words, you didn't cherry pick these out.
These ones I did not know. So this one might be the hardest one in the list. Okay. So I have advises municipalities, advises municipalities, advises institutions, advises institutions.
Okay.
Okay. So then, and then, yeah. And then we've got selling, buying, buying.
Right.
And then we're talking about municipal bonds and then selling securities. So then the question is, a municipal advisor does which of the following? So if I'm a municipal advisor, that means I'm advising municipalities.
Correct.
Get out of here. Right. So, okay. So now I'm like, okay, so I'm advising a municipality. I'm going to just go out on a limb and say that's on selling their securities. I'm not their broker dealer. So why would I advise them on buying securities? I'm going to advise them on their selling of their securities. That's probably the hardest one. And that's only because it's like, why else would I be doing this?
Right. Because you would get confused. Are we giving advice on buying or selling? And what was the reason behind that?
Well, because
I rarely ask this, but
the reason why is because to put a title to municipal advisor means that I'm advising a municipality, right? And otherwise, I'm just a broker selling to my client, which just so happens to be the city of LA. Does that make sense? Like, there's not anything special about my client being the city of LA if I'm selling securities to them, right? If the city of LA says to me, "Hey, Brandy, I want to buy some securities," that's not a special title. But a municipality, I'm advising a municipality on selling their securities. That is, sorry. I had to read between the lines on this one because Kaplan's grammar is really bad in this one. Because it would be advises municipalities on selling their securities.
Tim says the action of the trade.
Yeah.
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 So that's the key word.
Yeah.
This one's a little bit
weird.
a little more content-y. I know I said on test taking techniques, we like to not do content, but this is the way it went. 6 questions in a row. This is the way it went. No cherry picking, just proving a point. That still was a lot easier. Common sense on that.
And I would probably have to say that I probably put the there in between selling securities in my own brain because that's how it would be properly said.
Right.
Probably what I did. All right. Correspondence, prohibited, retail communication, and respondents. Okay. So I was like, I'm laughing, right?
I love a respondence.
Right. And this,
who doesn't love a good respondence?
What is
Next
that?
time someone leaves you on red, just go, where's the respondents on that?
I would like the respondents. No, that doesn't exist. Right. So the only thing I can think of is, man, they were really reaching. And I don't know. Somebody is probably going to go into the dictionary and see if it actually was there.
It might be.
But when I'm looking at correspondence and respondents, right? And then I read this big old long scenario, and all he's doing is you're
emails her a response.
We know that respondents isn't a word.
Right. It's correspondence.
Correspondence.
That's it.
That's it. That's it. And prohibited isn't communication. You're right.
Either is retail communication. I get. Well, it is.
It is. Yeah.
But it doesn't go with the question.
No. And I was just looking at correspondence and respondents.
The difference between retail communication and correspondence being the answer, I would say, is not thinking too much.
Yeah, that's the number of people you're responding to.
Yeah. But it's one person, so corresponding.
Yeah, it's correspondence. That's it.
Don't overthink it.
Yeah. And it's opposite of a word that doesn't exist.
If at any point you were that person that was reading fully all the way through the answers and you were looking through the question completely and you were going through it like you normally do, stop. Get yourself some techniques. Get yourself a way to look at the keywords like we do on Monday. Get the test taking techniques like we do on Tuesday. Tomorrow, we're going to do probably more techniques because I don't think Brandy's feeling like teaching content tomorrow, just to be honest with you. And then we'll do it on Thursday. We'll tie it all up with a little bit of content and techniques. Guys, there's a quick way to apply this knowledge. People get completely lost, and most of the time, it's on their own doing of thinking way too much, reading way too much, overthinking way too much. It leads you to having a huge pressure on the time. If you're taking forever to get through your quizzes and full exams, guys, you've got to figure out some techniques. You've got to have some of these strategies. And look, I'm not saying all these work 100,000% all the time. That's craziness. Even Lysol doesn't work 100%, right?
99.9.
We all learn that. Even if this works 10% of the time, or 15 or 20%, and you're scoring 50% on your on just content knowledge that you're already doing, and you add an extra 15 to 20%, just a little booster on this edge that you just been given, or you're going to learn. That's it. That's a pass notice. Focus on the dang pass notice. Don't master Q banks. Don't master exam practices or whatever they call them, masteries and blah de blahs, taking them over and over again. You're going to memorize question to answer, and then they're pointless. They're not going to be asked that way on the exam. They're not even going to look the same, not even close. It's what you want to do is look at how the keywords, learn some observational skills, learn how to apply it, and then just go past the dang thing. Right?
Mhm.
Like all my 19 passers in Mississippi.
That's right.
So there you go. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We got stuff for the members tomorrow. We have another Studying Brew heading your way tomorrow night. Same bat time, same bat channel. But you know what? You got to stay safe. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your friend's face. That's all I know. Keep the positive mental attitude. PMA, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you guys so much for being on. We super appreciate you. Practice test taking techniques in your quizzes. We will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great one.